Hey guys, I had a subscriber ask me to update you guys on my nursing career, and I thought I would do that today. So, I think I left off telling you guys I put in my 2 week notice at my last job, and I did. I put in my 2 week notice, I worked my 2 week notice, finished, and I haven't recently got a job right now because I really just need time to process my father's passing and get everything situated with him. I finally sold some of his furniture out of his house so that I could move some stuff into it, and I will be painting and putting in new carpet. And I think I might document that journey at my father's house, like the whole remodel for you guys. If you guys are interested in that, just let me know. But I wouldn't be able to work right now because I'm still dealing with financial aspects of everything that happened with my father's passing, and I'm going to do a separate video on this, but this will basically be a life update for you guys too. So I put in my 2 week notice. I quit that job, and I haven't gotten a new job. I've been putting in applications for places, and I haven't really gotten any callbacks for the places I've been interested in, and I've been using Indeed. So they can put your resume in like a pool. So I get all these emails like all day long of these jobs open in my area, and I'm like, this, and they're for registered nurses too, and I'm like, I'm not a registered nurse, like this is driving me crazy. So I'm basically just looking for a nursing job that is going to make me feel like a nurse again, and I'm not seeing any of those on Indeed in my area. And also with home health, I had a couple of phone interviews, and basically, home health, they pay based on what the patient's insurance is going to pay to keep that nurse in the home to care for that patient. So basically, the minimum pay rate that I was getting, because I don't have trach or vent peg tube experience, besides in nursing school, because I haven't done long-term care facility, it was like $16-17 an hour, which isn't bad, but I just, right around this time when I was putting in applications, I was going through so much stuff emotionally because of my father's passing that I knew, and I'm still not ready to work. Like, I'm still going through a lot of stress. And when I say stress, basically what happened was when my parents divorced, they divorced when I was like 8 or 9, maybe 10. And when my father created all these documents through his company, he made his sister beneficiary of all the money and assets. Like, not his home and everything, but just like his life insurance and retirement. He never updated it when I turned 18 or my brother turned 18. I'm 26, my brother's 22 now. So we were hoping that everything would go over smoothly, you know, and I had to get a lawyer. Long story short, I had to get a lawyer because my aunt was shady, and she lied to my lawyer saying that she never had a lawyer, even though she told me and my brother that she had a lawyer. And my lawyer called her, spoke with her, because we were not communicating with my aunt. My lawyer gave me strict instructions not to communicate with that side of the family. And eventually we got our money, and that was it. Like, it's over. So now I'm dealing with retirement stuff because that is supposed to go to the beneficiary of his life insurance as well, because it's under one company. It's all under one company because of where he worked. So now I have to go through all that. I've already called my lawyer, contacting him to see what I need to do, what I can do. But basically, my dad's bills are not necessarily piling up because I have been paying some of his bills that need to be paid, but I've also been sending out copies of his death certificates to certain creditors that I'm not responsible for paying since he passed. What are you doing, monkey? My cat's going crazy today. So that's basically what I'm going through. The mindset that I'm in right now, I'm having good days and I'm having bad days. There are days when I feel like I could take on the world. I have a good day and I'm happy And then there's other days where I'm just in a completely crappy mood and I don't want to do anything. I stay in bed, my hair gets greasy. Like, I'm still grieving. So, along with my brother trying to move out, me trying to move in there, and then I have to get rid of some stuff here and move this stuff to there. It's just all kinds of crazy. And it's just a lot. And I'm too stressed. I wouldn't be able to handle a job right now and do everything that I'm doing now, basically. It's all too much. So, that's pretty much it for like my whole update for that. As far as like nursing school goes, I did go back to the school I graduated the LPN program from to take the placement test for the RN program, the TEAS test. I blew math, science, and English out of the water. I failed reading. I know. Brace yourself. I failed reading the first time by like 2 questions. And then I went back the next day to retake it and I failed by 1. 1 question, like 1 point. I was like right below the threshold. And that was gonna, if I passed it, that was gonna put me in the May cohort to start in May. But I failed. So he was like, you can go ahead and start. We have to write an entry, like a essay to enter the program, and there's like 3 topics you can choose from. Has to be APA format. So he was like, this will give you time to really write the best paper of your life to get accepted. And he said it shouldn't be an issue with me getting accepted into the August cohort if I pass. And, write my paper and do all that because my GPA when I was in the LPN program was outstanding. And he said as long as I write the paper and pass the reading, because the TEAS test there, when you take it, it's good for a year. So I don't have to retake math, thank God. I thought I was going to fail math, and he's like, you did the best on math besides English. But he said you don't have to retake the math, science, or English. You just have to redo the reading. Once you pass the reading and your paper is submitted, and we have your references and all that, you're good to go. And I was like, okay, cool. So my plan kind of foiled. I was really expecting to start in May for RN school, but I failed twice, and I feel like that is a sign from the higher up, man upstairs, maybe my father too, that it is just not your time right now. You need to take time to yourself, relax, get the crap done that you need to get done, and then go back and try to go into nursing school. And it all kind of makes sense because depending how this whole retirement situation goes, I might have to go to court. I might have to meet with my lawyer and take time off. I will not be able to do stuff like that if I am in nursing school, especially if I'm doing clinicals or I have like a project due that I have to present, or things that I have to be at school for. I'm not gonna be able to just leave school and be like, hey, I have to go take care of this. Your points rack up. It shows that you just have way too much going on. And when you're in nursing school, you want to act as professional as possible because that's going to build the foundation for you being a nurse. And I wouldn't want my instructors thinking, okay, this girl just doesn't care about nursing school. She has too much crap going on at home. So I would never want to put that on myself or my instructors or my fellow students and be a distraction. So boom. I feel like everything happens for a reason. I failed that test for a reason. And there were like 4 or 5 questions I kept getting hung up on that test, and I still think about them, and I'm like, when I go in there, I'm really going to remember this question, and I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to get this. But that's basically my life update. And as far as working, I'm not. And I have a supportive boyfriend. Like, he's okay with me taking a break, and I need to take a break. That whole week I was out when my father passed away, I was planning his memorial. I was, filling out paperwork to get his death certificate, and all of this stuff was coming out of the woodwork. I was checking his mail, and I was having to send copies of death certificates to the creditors that I'm not responsible for, and I had to pay some of his bills that I need to keep on. And it's just a lot. And I'm going to make a separate video of things that I've learned since I've lost a parent, because if you've never been through this, it's very hard, especially when things aren't updated or they aren't in order. And that's the main thing I'm going to be talking about in that video when I make it. But for those of you who have never lost somebody close to you or lost a parent, especially in this situation that I'm in with everything being such a mess because my father never updated anything for beneficiaries or anything, it is so stressful. And it's getting to the point where it's so stressful that I told my mom earlier when I called her in regards to the retirement situation that I just want to give up. Not on life, but just with all of this. Like, screw the money, screw closing out accounts, screw all of it. Like, I'm just, in my head, if you could see what's going on, it's just constantly doing this. I'm going back and forth, back and forth. And then when I think of one thing, or if one thing pops up, I'm thinking of the next 5-10 things that come after that. And it's just crazy. And it doesn't help that I'm drinking so much caffeine. Like, yeah, we shouldn't be having this, but I am. But I'm the type of person that listens to my body. I listen to my inner self. My mental health just isn't there. My psyche isn't there, okay? And even when I was at work, when all of this happened, when my father passed away, I was trying to act okay. I was trying to be happy and go get her, you know, like I am, bubbly. And, you know, a lot of the donors that were coming in there didn't even know. And, you know, select donors that I really built a good relationship with, I would tell them, you know, my father passed away the day after my birthday, and they were like, oh my God, I didn't even know. Like, and they would hug me, and why are you here, you know? And I'm like, I have to be here. I have bills I gotta pay, you know? And, it just got to the point, like, when I put my 2-week notice in, and then all of this financial stuff, I had to go to court, become an administrator of his estates, all of that. It was so much. It was so overwhelming that I am so glad that I put in my 2-week notice. I'm glad I'm not working right now, because if I got a new job, I would probably have to stop that new job. And I just wouldn't want to do that, you know? I didn't want to start a new job and be like, hey, I got to take the day off tomorrow to go to court, or I got to take the day off to go get this straight for my father's estate. You know, I just didn't want to do that. When I'm ready to work, I want to be able to just go to work, pay the bills, come home, do it all over again the next day. And it also didn't make sense to me to start a new job for the next month or two if I'm going to go to nursing school full time. So that's where I'm at. Someone wrote a comment. Let me look. Oh, well, thank you, Charisse. I hope I said your name correctly. I'm sorry that you lost your parents. My dad's passing was very unexpected, and it wasn't like he was on hospice and had 6 months to live or less. It was 2 years ago when he got diagnosed with heart failure, because I was in nursing school. I was actually in the cardiac portion of nursing school. He had his 3rd or 4th heart attack, and he was diagnosed with heart failure. And when they said it was congestive and his heart was only working at 20%, they were thinking of putting in a pacemaker or a heart transplant. He was on the heart transplant list, but they ended up taking him off because they adjusted his medications and he changed his diet. And he was wearing one of those vests that if his heart rate dropped too low, it would shock his heart and pump it faster. And then he quit wearing that because my dad is stubborn and he didn't want to wear it. So he changed his diet, but he kept working 100+ hours a week. He's always been a workaholic. He always has been. He was the hardest worker I've ever known. He owned his own business, and he also had an actual job. So when I was in nursing school and I heard that he had the diagnosis of congestive heart failure and how his heart wasn't working properly, and the doctors were saying only one valve was functioning the way it should, and he had blockage in another, they had to go in and put another stent. You know, I knew my time was limited with my father. I'm trying not to cry. I knew with that diagnosis that he wasn't going to live to be an old man. You know, I knew that he wasn't going to live to see 80, 90 years old. That's just the realistic thing. especially with the way he was working. And my father drank a lot. He loved to have adult beverages after work, especially in the summertime. He loved a cold Budweiser after cutting grass. So I knew that he didn't have long. And I wasn't thinking, okay, 5 years. I was thinking, 15, 20 years. He would still be around. He would see me get married. He would see me have kids if I had kids. So him passing away the day after my birthday, sorry, it's just a little bit more traumatic for me because I was just with him that night previously. I went to the gym. I told him I was coming over. I had fried potatoes and onions with him. I ate my birthday cake that he got me. We were watching TV. We were listening to music. He was drinking his beverage. We were talking about work, how he was excited for the fishing season to come up so he could do his bass fishing tournaments. And it was just a normal night, And the next day I got the worst call of my life. And it was so much. And sometimes I wonder, because he had been taking more time off from work to go fishing or to just take a break or work on the house, he was taking more breaks than usual. And I don't know internally if he knew he was getting weaker or if he needed to slow down or if he was in pain. He would never tell anybody if he was in pain or having any issues because he was just so stubborn, and that's why I'm so stubborn. But I don't know if he felt weird or if he felt his heart was getting weak again, or I just don't know. But I definitely don't wish any of this on anyone, to be honest. Like, it's so hard. And this isn't just about parents. Like, if you have someone that you love, whether it's your grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, sister, cousin, brother, best friend, okay, sister from another mister, brother from another mother, you have to cherish them. It's literally, you're here today, gone tomorrow. That saying right there sticks in my head whenever I think about my father, because he was literally there with me and then gone the next day. And the phone call I got, I knew I would eventually get it. And I've said this before in one of my videos. I knew that I would eventually get it. But I figured it would be, they found his boat and not his body. Or, he was cutting a customer's yard and the customer found him unresponsive on their lawn. Or he came to the door saying he was having really bad chest pains. I knew initially that he was going to pass away because of his heart. I knew his heart would eventually give out. So, even though I knew that, still dealing with it and it actually happening, and everything has been put into perspective, it's still not easy. It's not easy at all. And, some people aren't close with their parents, and that's what a lot of people at my old job didn't understand. They're like, oh, your dad passed away, I'm so sorry. Have you never lost anyone? It doesn't have to be your parents. If you're not close to your parents, that's cool. Like, it could be whoever raised you. It could be whoever you're close to, and they're here one day and gone tomorrow. Just imagine that. It's a feeling of loneliness and emptiness that I can't even explain, And when my brother comes over and he's driving my dad's truck, I'll open the door and expect to see my dad hop out and come, running up my porch. And it's my brother. Which isn't bad. But, you just have to get used to that person not being around anymore. And that's what sucks. But, that's enough of that. I'm sorry that I cried, but that's an update. So, I'm not working. I do plan on going back for my RN. Whenever I pass the reading portion. I even told my mom I failed the reading portion, and she's like, how did you fail reading? And I'm like, apparently I can't read, I don't know. But, what are you doing, monkey? Baby. Apparently I can't read, so. But he literally said it was by like one question, 1 point, whatever he said. So I didn't want to beat myself up too bad about it, but I am one of those people that everything happens for a reason. I failed that test for a reason, and I'm glad that I'm using this time to grieve. You know, like I said, there are days that I'm happy, I'm a go-getter, I'm getting stuff done. And then, like yesterday, I was just in a really bad mood. I didn't want to get out of bed and do anything. Like, I'm still grieving. And grieving takes a certain amount of time for everybody. Some people, you know, they can grieve for a week and they're good. Some people it takes a year. Some people it takes 3 months. When you feel you're ready to be semi-normal again, you're going to do it. I'm not normal. I've never been normal, but I'm not ready to work and juggle the expenses of working, going to the gym, living life again. Because I'm still grieving the fact that I don't have my dad here. And I still can't even, I know I'm healed when I can talk about the person and I don't cry. And I still cry when I talk about him or think about him. And that's how I know I'm still grieving. With my grandma, it took me about 3 or 4 months to finally be able to talk about her and laugh and be happy about talking with her about her instead of, you know, just mentioning Meemaw or someone asking, how are you since you lost your Meemaw? And I would just burst into tears. So even now when people I haven't seen in a while say, oh, I'm so sorry about your father's passing, and they come to hug me, I burst into tears. Or when they're sharing stories about my father, I burst into tears. So I want to get the grieving process out of the way. That gives me time to write my paper for nursing school. And he said make sure it's the best paper of your life. So yeah, that's my life update. I'm sorry I cried. But I am going to make a video on, you know, what I've learned since losing my parent, because there are things that I have learned that are different from when my grandma passed away. And it's different because when my Meemaw passed away, which is my mom's mom, my mom was dealing with all of this. Now that it's my parent and I'm the oldest child, I'm dealing with all of it. So it's a completely different outlook. It's a completely different scenario. Today's Wednesday. Yup. So I hope you guys have a great hump day. I'm going to make that video for you guys soon. That's my nursing update. I'm not out of the field. I do plan on getting back in, but that's all I got for you guys right now. My phone's about to die. So have a great hump day, and I'll make that video for you guys soon. If you guys have any questions or comments, video suggestions, let me know. Are you going for your associates or bachelor's? So when I go in for the RN program, that will be my associate's degree. And then eventually, because it's always been my goal to get my BSN, they have an online BSN program and a master program. And I think I'm going to go for my BSN after I get my RN eventually. And then I even might do masters, because I would love to teach nursing. I would love to teach like nursing fundamentals 1 and 2, which is technically like being a CNA. You know, you teach the students how to transfer the patient from the bed to the wheelchair, vice versa. You feed them, you clean their fingernails. I loved doing that when I was a CNA, so I feel like I would be a great teacher for that. And I always make stuff fun, and I would make that class really fun. So I might get my master's too. I don't know. I just love education. I love nursing, and I feel like that's my calling, is to just help people. So I'll eventually get my associates if I ever pass the reading T's test, and then we'll go from there. So if you guys have any video suggestions or questions, you guys know you can ask me, and I'm going to make that new video for you guys soon. Have a have a happy hump day. Yeah, in Virginia, they are really on you about having your BSN to work in hospitals. Yeah, so, and a lot of hospitals, especially like Sentara, if you're a registered nurse, they like pay for you to go back in a certain amount of time to get your bachelor's, because your BSN, I mean, if you're going to go for it, I feel like you should just go all the way anyways. You too, VA Barbie, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll make that video for you guys soon. I'm going to go finish my coffee, and yeah, that's it. That's my life update. I always got stuff to talk to you guys about. Chatty Cathy over here, but I'm done. You guys have a good one.